I don't drink soda.
My name's Awesome Ty.
Got it.
My name's Awesome Ty.
Your name is Awesome Ty.
My name's Awesome Ty.
My name's Awesome Ty.
That's what you say. Oh, I have this. I'm gonna keep this jacket on the chair as a little nod to versus something.
A little tip of the cap.
A little tip of the cap.
A little tip of the cap. I tip my cap to you.
To VS. Breaking news, everybody. Versus something. It's coming soon.
It's coming at some point.
Mm-hmm. It's a brand new trial-style competition show where Ty and I are lawyers. We're representing a piece of pop culture in a predetermined category, and you are the jury, and you decide who wins.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a few episodes in the can, and we're going to get those to you pretty soon.
So we thought about doing a foursome. We're going to do 4 episodes, then we're going to run the 4 episodes, and then do the winner of those. Whoever gets 3 wins, and then if we do 2 and 2,
best 3 out of 4,
then we got a sudden death.
Yep.
You know, so that's exciting. That's breaking, and you heard it first here a couple weeks ago. But maybe you're a new listener. You don't know what this is. We can't tell you what it is, unfortunately, because of the stuff that we're going through. But you can see the title. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name is Awesome Ty.
We're here with Satchmo. We got Smart Plug here. Computer, the one and only artificially intelligent podcast co-host, and Free Candy up in Canada. Free Candy.
Artificially intelligent from Spotify. Just so you know, while you're listening, you can ask me to fast forward or
God damn it, computer, stop!
5 minutes. Now for your
Computer,
podcast. Here's
stop.
the latest
Computer,
episode,
stop.
Space tourism.
Computer,
Stop! Sorry about that. Artificially intelligent. We use that very loosely.
Yeah, it's definitely not intelligent. He's not regularly intelligent.
Yeah. We're reaching here. We're reaching with that label.
And we got Free Candy up in the Great White North in Canada. Say hello, bud.
Yeah. And, we can't hear him. We haven't heard from him in a while. Tensions have been mounting between Canada and the United States. And I kind of even wonder, where we stand with Free Candy.
Yeah.
Free Candy, check in with us, bud. Let us know that we're still good, pal.
Please check in with us because we haven't heard from you in a while. You haven't left any comments since this whole thing started.
Free Candy, we have no control over Trump.
No.
We have none. We're just as dumbfounded as you probably are.
Yeah. And we didn't vote for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't vote personally.
I'm sorry for the tariffs. I don't know if that's coming out of your pocket in any sense directly, whether it's taxpayer money or what.
Yeah.
Or maybe just American goods are now much higher. But we can't control that,
They took the bottles off the shelves.
We can't control it.
They took the bottles off the shelves in Canada. No American alcohol.
No American. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So got rid of drinking Molson up there? Or?
Jack Daniels. Gone. Jim Beam. Gone.
So they're drinking
Johnny Walker. Gone.
Black Velvet. That's Canadian whiskey.
Yeah,
that's
Black
terrible.
Velvet. That's what you get.
That's the worst whiskey.
So that's not on us, dude. So we hope that we're still cool and that we can still get along and that everything's fine. Please reach out. I've been first. How are you, Ty?
I'm doing.
Yeah?
I'm doing.
I've been disassociating and trying to escape reality.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
By enjoying content. I love content.
I'm a big YouTube guy.
Super huge on content. Yeah, YouTube is nice because you could pick, maybe I want 15 minutes of content. Maybe I want 2 hours of content. Let's see where this goes.
I try to watch scripted content. Sometimes I've been trying to catch up on Righteous Gemstones, which is a show I legitimately enjoy.
Yeah.
But it's just hard for me to suspend my terror in life for 45 minutes or whatever to fully vest myself in any sort of program like that. So YouTube's great because I can just kind of tune in and out in between scrolling through my phone over and over again. And I feel like I'm not missing any key storylines by watching YouTube videos about. For some reason, I'm still getting a lot of Kendrick Lamar Drake beef videos, which
really
I don't want those, but at the same time, sometimes it's just the easiest thing to pop on. So I've seen about 3,000 different takes on a years old beef, which is basically just at a simmer now. It's not like a lot going on. That, but
yeah, that's weird. That's odd.
It is. I guess they're just feeding me what they think I want, but it's come on, something a little more current would be nice.
I recently started watching Beast Games, the Mr. Beast game show.
Yeah.
Now, I had heard about this, then heard that it started and came out on Amazon Prime, and then I was seeing clips and reels when I was doing my doom scrolling. And then they dropped the first 3 episodes on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it was just convenient to watch. So I checked it out. It started getting me. I started getting hooked. And after watching one Mr. Beast video, my whole screen was filled with Mr. Beast. It was like my next 3 recommended videos, and then the row below that with like new releases was also Mr. Beast videos from 2 years ago.
Yeah, I feel like it's being pushed on us, just like the Mr. Beast chocolate is being pushed on us in stores.
Yeah,
Have you
I don't want
tried?
that.
Have you tried the chocolate?
Yes.
My kids get it sometimes. It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good chocolate.
No,
It's
because
like,
it only has like 4 ingredients.
exact. So why is it taking over the shelf space in our stores now, becoming more and more prominent? When it's just not good chocolate. It's
Yeah, something's going on with him. And I like to, I always thought when Mr. Beast like first came on my radar, I was like, something's going to come out about this guy. He did something. He's got some sort of skeleton in his closet.
he just seems like I don't know. And I feel like the success is changing him.
Yeah.
He's become less relatable and he seems less authentic. And I mean, obviously that's going to happen when you become just like the biggest star on earth go from, like his trajectory has been wild.
Talk
To
about
go
not
from
knowing what eggs
just,
cost.
like a kid that made YouTube videos about video games to where he's possibly the biggest star in the world. To my kids, he's probably the biggest star in the world. So
I mean, he just broke a bunch of records for game show history, like
yeah,
most contestants in a game show, biggest cash prize in a game show, most money given away on the first episode, like all kinds of just boom, 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 one after the other.
That kind of career trajectory, just a skyrocket to notoriety, it's got to do something to a person's psyche and their heart.
So he's either done something horrible that is a secret in his life,
or he's going to.
That's what I was going to say. It's not too late for him to do it. Every day's a new opportunity to drop the ball. And I feel like eventually something's going to come out against Mr. Beast. I thought, he's been famous for a long time. If it was going to happen, it would have already happened. But Diddy was famous for a long time.
And I feel like, granted, I've never met Mr. Beast personally, but I feel like if you even had a conversation with the guy, you'd probably be forced into signing an NDA. You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine all of the NDAs restricting what people can say about Mr. Beast there are out there? There's probably just an enormous amount.
That's what they were talking about because he was meeting the contestants for Beast Games. And a lot of them were like, what do you think about all these articles that are coming about you, like abusing your staff and horrible living conditions and not enough food and being sequestered for long periods of time.
Yeah. And didn't he give kind of like a smart ass answer to where he was like, I don't hear anything, mainly because these people are silenced by my multi-million-dollar legal team.
Yes, that's exactly what he said. He was like, people that had a good experience aren't going to say that because they signed NDAs.
And I don't think saying you had a good experience would be against an NDA, right? Like that.
I think you're not allowed to talk about any elements of it at all.
You just can't speak of this life event that
Can't
happened
even talk
to you?
about it. Yeah.
That's kind of
To
wild.
anyone in the world. But I think that something definitely can still happen with Mr. Beast. It's never too late for that news to drop. But until then, I've been enjoying Beast Games.
Yeah. I'd considered watching it. I haven't seen it pop up on my YouTube algorithm. I do follow Mr. Beast, but I haven't watched it yet. All I've really heard is these horror stories about people being sequestered in little cubicles for like 12 to 24 hours at a time and being deprived food and their medicine and just basic horror stories from the filming of Beast Games. But
yeah, I heard that too. But who knows what's real?
If it's quality content and it sucks you in, I can look past that.
Yeah, if the content's good enough, then
I just picture it being like an extended version of Mr. Beast. Like, is there anything that really differentiates it from standard Mr. Beast contests?
So I was watching like this behind the scenes thing, and one of his friends, I don't know his name, is in charge of production. He's like the main producer on it, and he produces a bunch of his YouTube videos, but he wants to produce movies, like big blockbuster movies in the future. So he said that his vision for the show is that it'll be part YouTube video, part game show. And in the beginning, it'll be more of a YouTube video, but as it continues throughout the season, it'll turn more and more into a professional game show. Because with 1,000 people, you have to do like big spectacle things.
Right.
But then once you get down to like 30 people, you could do a traditional game show.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to like completely morph into a new thing. And then he was like, at the end, I want it to be full TV quality show, not YouTube at all.
Right. Well, given the production budget for it, I would assume
$100 million.
It's got to be top tier. I mean, but even the Mr. Beast current YouTube challenges, they're already pretty, they seem like they're pretty pricey. So
I think that's where this came from, was that after Squid Game, Mr. Beast recreated Squid Game and did it for real. And then Amazon gave him $100 million to do it with 1,000 people instead of 100. So...
Is it just like knockoffs or rehashes of challenges he's already done?
Kind of.
See, that kind of sucks.
Well, no. I don't. Okay, no, I take it back.
There's no like umbrella cookies or anything like that? Okay.
No. He did, there are new things, because I haven't watched all of Mr. Beast's videos, so I'm sure that some of them are pulled from old challenges. But he built this whole city for people to live in. For 500 people to live in.
See, isn't the whole thing filmed inside Allegiant Stadium, the Raiders Stadium? I know at least some of it was, but...
Possibly, yeah. But he has multiple sets that are like bigger than a football field.
Oh, really?
Giant, like rooms, industrial, like airplane hangars where you would park a spaceship or some shit. Like, but it's right in the middle of LA. And he built this whole city for everyone to live in that has this big tower that all the challenges take place in. And it's a lot. Like, he fucking did a lot. And I don't know why. What was my point about the city and the challenges?
I asked if it was all filmed inside Allegiant Stadium.
No, before that.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, either way, he's up to something, and we're going to find out. But until then, feel free to enjoy Beast Games, which is a ripoff of Squid Game.
Okay. I will probably check out the first episode at least.
Yeah, check it out. So did you catch Bill Murray's recent appearances?
I saw him on Hot Ones. Did you watch the Hot Ones?
I didn't watch the Hot Ones yet.
The Hot Ones I don't want to spoil it for you, but like, how would you guess that Bill Murray would perform on Hot Ones?
I would think that he has never seen the show.
That might be true.
Okay. He's not familiar with the show and how it works at all. He kind of almost like learns at the table that the wings get spicier as they go. And he also keeps standing up and walking away from the table and like talking to the cameraman and doing stuff like that. And he doesn't eat regular chicken wings. He eats the vegan style ones. They give him like the fake wings.
No.
And I think he handles the spice well.
You want to know?
Yeah.
He handles the spice better than anyone I've ever seen on Hot Ones.
Damn, I knew it.
He no-sells it. Like, if the spice, the Scoville spice is affecting this man in any way, like, you cannot tell.
Yeah.
He handles it like an absolute champ.
Did he tell some good stories?
There's some good stories, yeah. Yeah.
What was one that he told?
I'm going to struggle to recall. Just because my short-term memory.
Just paraphrase it. Because I saw him on Joe Rogan, and he didn't know how a podcast worked, and he also didn't know who Joe Rogan was.
Okay.
Had never heard his show before. Kept getting up and standing over by the TV and leaving the show to go pee without saying anything.
Yeah, he didn't do anything like that.
It was crazy.
I mean, his energy was relatively low, but he just seemed like super chill, like you would expect Bill Murray to be.
No, he was promoting like 8 movies that were coming out, and he was just like kind of didn't know what was happening, like, and not in a like confused old man way. Like, he just like had never even listened to a podcast, had no idea what a podcast was, and he even was telling a story, and he was like, "I can do this, right? Because this like goes forever." And he was like, "Yeah." and he's used to like a short form like TV interview.
Yeah.
So that's all he knew was that it was for hours and you could continue to talk.
No, yeah, he was super chill. He had some stories. I'm not pulling any up in my old memory bank there, and then Pete Davidson pops in. He was predominantly there to promote the movie he co-stars in with Pete Davidson. I don't know if it's out yet, but it's coming up. And then Pete Davidson pops in to do the last dab with them, and Pete Davidson handles it like a little bitch. He gets, I think he's already been on Hot Ones, but he, like he cannot handle the heat. Whereas Bill Murray just, maybe it did burn his mouth, or maybe he was.
But he played it cool.
Yeah, very cool. I don't even think he drank any milk.
They probably had to bring in Pete Davidson because they're like, fuck, like we need this, like, oh, it's so spicy element.
Yeah.
If you just play it cool the whole time, that kind of like, it's just an interview.
Through watching that, I did stumble upon, I don't remember what prompted me to I searched for something about Bill Murray, and it brought up BillMurrayStories.com, which I wasn't aware of. I've obviously been keenly aware of all of people's cool Bill Murray stories, like that's legendary, but there's a website that documents them, and you can go to BillMurrayStories.com, and they'll have just various categories of Bill Murray stories, like
oh, that's cool. They're all grouped up.
Yeah, it's just like people's personal candid Bill Murray stories. A lot of people have.
He'll just like show up at someone's wedding,
show up at their wedding,
and he doesn't know anybody,
or he'll like even just like a regular, you could find yourself in a by chance in like an elevator with Bill Murray, and that'll turn into just like a grand afternoon of hanging out with you. And then he also owns a minor league baseball team, a very minor league baseball team, which he's actually like very involved in. So like if you live in, I can't even remember what city it is, but if you live in the city, like Bill Murray is like a regular fixture of your life just because he owns this minor league baseball team and is heavily involved in promoting it and managing it and constantly. This minor league baseball team has all kinds of cool themed nights that you got to assume Bill Murray is behind.
He's got to be a part of that. Yeah. And that was one of the coolest things was that he was telling Joe Rogan, podcaster and like he's an MMA commentator.
Yeah, I know Joe Rogan.
And he was telling Joe Rogan about how in his free time he likes to watch old cowboy movies on channel 136 and channel 368. And Joe was like, what? Are you on, like, is this on satellite? What do you mean 368?
Direct TV?
And he was like, yeah, I'm on Dish Network. So the guy's got Dish Network. He watches old black and white cowboy movies on the Cowboy Channel and is so, like, out of touch, but still also so very cool.
Yeah.
Like how are you so cool, but so unplugged from life and culture?
Yeah.
And he somehow pulls it off. He's still cool as fuck.
He's gotta be. I mean, if you were gonna do like a bracket style like tournament thing with like the coolest people on earth, I don't know of any one matchup that Bill Murray's not gonna advance in.
No.
You know what I mean? Like he's gonna, if you do it like March Madness style, you're gonna have like it seeded basically like first round. The coolest on paper goes up against the least cool, and then it's just gonna like go from there. Yeah. And if you were to do that with any celebrity, anyone on earth, I would struggle to think of someone that's going to top Bill Murray in any matchup. So I think that Bill Murray, arguably, there's a strong argument that he's the coolest person on earth.
Yeah, there's nobody that could beat him. So it was just, it was cool to see him come out and do these like first long form interview appearances.
Yeah.
Because he's never done these before. And we want to try to get him on our show. Have you heard of the Bill Murray phone number, the legendary phone number?
No.
So this is actually a thing where Bill Murray doesn't have a talent agency that represents him.
I've heard that. Yeah.
He represents himself, and there's a 1-800 number that you have to first find, and it's not publicly available. You have to get it like through some sort of connection. And people, once they get it, they don't want to give it out, so it's hard to get it.
I'm picturing a payphone this number's
payphone
connected to a
rings?
payphone, and it's like in like a rural area. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Bill Murray's a Chicago guy, so maybe on like the outskirts of suburban Chicago, wherever Bill Murray lives, there's this
rings
payphone
on the
and
corner?
It probably rings all the time, and just like you have to just keep calling this payphone.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you call it enough, you're probably going to get through to Bill Murray, but it's going to take a lot.
He walks
of
by that
commitment.
payphone sometimes.
Yeah.
You just got to catch it. No, what it is you got to find the number. Then when you call the number, it goes straight to voicemail. And you have to leave the voicemail, which is your pitch for whatever project you want him to be involved in. And you only have as much time as your voicemail can be, like a minute and a half or whatever. And you give the pitch. He listens to all of his voicemails. And depending on who it is or what the project is, he'll decide yes or no if he wants to be involved, and he'll call you back.
So do you think that's how Joe Rogan got him? Do you think Joe Rogan had to call that number, or Joe Rogan's people, presumably? I doubt Joe Rogan.
Yeah, no, I think that Bill Murray's he's forced to go out and promote these movies.
Yeah, contractually.
Yeah, I think it's in the contract for the movie because
press
he's
run.
doing all these appearances that he wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
And that was probably in it. They're like, look, dude, you're at the end of your career. Your name isn't worth as much as it was 10 years ago. So you have to go
and
do
as
promo.
cool as Bill Murray comes across when you see him in these things, like at no point did it also ever strike me as like he wants to be doing this with his day right now.
No,
like
not at all.
It's not probably an ideal
He's forced
thing.
to do this.
But even being forced to do something he doesn't necessarily want to, he's Bill Murray, so
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna make the most of it. And
Yeah, so we want to force him to do this show. So think about it like you could go and you could do Club Shay Shay, right? Shepard Smith's show. Is that what it's called?
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp. Shepard
yeah.
Smith? Who's Shepard Smith?
Smith is, I think that's like a Fox News guy or something, maybe.
Okay, well, Shannon Sharp show. You can go do Club Shay Shay
Or Club Random.
or Club Random, even worse, with Bill Maher.
Far worse.
And you could go to, there we go. You could do Club Random with Bill Maher. You can go to his basement of his house and you could have him, show you pictures of all these like 19-year-old girls. He's going to be trying to smoke weed with you and drink whiskey.
Imagine Bill Murray being on Club Random. You've got just the very best Bill and the very worst.
The very worst.
And I mean,
Damn, that's
God,
crazy.
That would be a wild thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if I'd want to see that, honestly.
Hold on.
I wouldn't want Bill Murray to be subjected to that.
We didn't have the table lights on.
Oh.
We have to start over.
Shit.
That's okay. We barely were in it.
Yeah.
My name's Awesome Ty.
Oh, yeah, my name's Awesome Ty. Am I supposed to repeat that?
Yep. Welcome to the show. We can't say the name of it. It's Awesome Ty. I'm Mikey Booyah. These are the guys.
Yeah, Bill Murray was recently on Hot Ones and Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan's an MMA commentator.
Bill Murray, great guy.
Yeah.
Legendary.
What if he was on Club Random?
I don't know if I'd want to see that.
All right.
I'd watch it, but like I don't want
I'd watch
Bill
it.
Murray to have to go through that.
I definitely watch it. But yeah, you could either go on Club Random and hang out in Bill Maher's basement, where he's going to get you way too drunk to where after the show you can't leave. He's going to force you to like hang out with him because he built this studio.
Do you think it's actually in his
It is in
actual
his
house?
basement. It's in his basement, and he built it to where it can run. It could run by itself. So he has all the cameras like fit in fixed positions, and he hits a button and they all record.
And just take randomly weird angles for no reason.
Yeah. He has the one that's like up above looking down at him. And so he just records it from all these angles, edits it together later. And he built this place there and has it this like chill vibe where you're drinking and smoking so that after the show, you have to stay. You're too drunk. You can't drive.
So Matt Gaetz was recently on Club Random, and I didn't like watch the episode, but I've like seen it recapped in several different forums on like YouTube and podcasts that I've listened to, mainly making fun of it. But so apparently it starts out with like it seeming like it's going to be kind of like a tense conversation with like Bill Maher grilling him about his politics or whatever. But then it quickly just evolves into a conversation about like, yeah, you should be able to pay for teenage pussy, and and basically Bill Maher like justifying him being like, yeah, you did nothing wrong paying for sex with all these women, young women. Yeah, went left pretty quickly.
Damn.
I would not recommend seeking that out though.
No, not at all. So, Bill Murray, you could either do Club Random or you could do our show. You could sit right here in between me and Ty.
You can have my chair, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like Bill, you have free run at the place.
Yeah,
we can do this on your terms. We'll come to Bill Murray if he wants to do it in Chicago or that baseball stadium, wherever, Bill.
We'll come to you. We'll build a Matan Evan type set where we just do like the blankets and put the table up. We'll do whatever you're comfortable with. And we'll also bring gifts. That's something that I noticed is that, did he bring a gift for Sean Evans?
I didn't catch that.
No?
I mean, maybe he did off camera, but I didn't see.
He brought a lot of gifts for Joe and Jamie.
Oh, that's very kind.
Yeah. So I think that he's a gift giver type of guy. And those guys, they always like getting gifts themselves. That's why they give the gifts. Treat someone how you want to be treated.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So we got gifts.
We got gifts.
You're going to like them. So come do the show.
Please, Bill.
You have to do like probably 10 appearances.
Yeah, and wouldn't that be kind of like a F you to the man if you're forced to do these media appearances and you just appear on possibly the most obscure podcast that there. I mean, we're definitely in the top 1% of obscure podcasts. Given how many there are. So, I mean, that would be kind of that would be like a Bill Maher.
That would be cool.
Not a Bill Maher thing to do. No. We don't want Bill Maher. You're not welcome on the show. But that would be a Bill Murray thing to do. Is just appear on like a random podcast, not a club random podcast, but
just a random
podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, come on, that'd be great. That'd be exciting. Did you see Shane Gillis
on Saturday Night Live?
For the second time?
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I think I probably caught the bulk of what he did. The skits, I watched his monologue, which
yikes.
I mean, you gotta like admire his balls to like even go back there and do it again so soon, given how poorly it went last time. But then at the same time, I was like, ugh, like, I don't know, that monologue, I feel like he could have done better, like given what we've seen Shane Gillis do, and a lot of it just felt like slight retellings of his stand-up routine. So like,
and I mean like he has a lot of jokes, like he's been doing stand-up consistently for a long time. So he has a lot of material that don't have to do with those topics. And I get it that like in that situation where you're on SNL, where you got canceled for doing an Asian accent, and it's a lot of liberal audience and crew members. So it would be funny to do some like right-wing jokes, but to just have the whole set be that
and
was
like,
a weird choice. He could have, there's so many other jokes that he could have done that are funny.
Yeah. It was odd and it felt uncomfortable, and you had the exact same people from the band just staring him down and
as last time,
looking like
that girl,
disgusted. The girl and the old man just And I don't know. I mean, like I felt like he was kind of going into the lion's den, even doing it again. So
the bass player liked him.
The bass
the black guy, he liked him.
Yeah,
he was laughing the whole time. So,
but I will say that like it wasn't a live skit, but that pre-taped one they did with the couple of beers one or whatever, that was really funny.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny. But as far as like the live skits that they were performing on site, like I mean, I don't know.
I wonder how much input he had on the skits this time, because I remember on the first one that he did, afterwards you would listen to like a podcast with him, and he would be talking about how he brought McKeever with him from Gillian Keys.
Yeah.
And they had all these ideas for skits, but then when they hit the writing room, they pitched one thing and they were like, no. And then everybody else was trying to pitch their thing.
I mean, that's got to be like the case, right? Because like Gillian Keeves, like those skits on YouTube are like, they're almost all just hilarious, at least to me personally.
Yeah.
And I mean, given what we saw on Saturday Night Live, it's just
yeah.
like
So he said that they didn't have any input on any of the skits. They tried to pitch one, got shut down, and then decided not to do it anymore. And also, it was like there's 30 writers, and there's only one show a week, and you only have so many chances to get your bit on the show and like step up your career. So if you yell out a thing and it doesn't get picked, you weren't even involved in the show that week.
Right.
So everybody's like chomping at the bit and fighting to try to get their thing out.
Yeah, I'm sure
So they're like, we weren't going to take that from somebody.
the SNL writers room is probably like cutthroat as far as like people trying to, you know, get their stuff across. And
but that should be a thing where like, especially when a comedian and someone that makes like comedic videos is on, you should give them one. You should set aside one for them.
My hopes were up for it just because Chappelle's last appearance, like it's on Saturday Night Live, I thought that those skits were like they were kind of edgy, you know, given what we usually see on Saturday Night Live, and I think they felt closer to like a Chappelle show style than your typical Saturday Night. So I was like, all right, you know, like maybe this will be the lone positive of the Trump administration, that maybe we'll get some more edgy, less, you know, sensitive comedy, which I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But that, I don't know, you know, I don't know. Maybe my expectations were too high, but Saturday Night Live, I mean,
it's a dead art form.
Yeah.
It's a dead show.
Yeah. It's at this point, like, why are we still doing this?
Saturday night, why? You know,
Saturday night, I've seen better.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Or Saturday night, dead.
Yeah.
You know,
Saturday night,
unalive. Because nobody's watching that anymore. It's not funny.
It's no, I mean, yeah.
It's not funny. Now, one thing that I wanted to talk about, I don't want to turn this negative, okay? But President Donald Trump has been signing a lot of executive orders recently.
So many.
And there's some crazy shit in there that like reverses years of advancement.
It's crazy. I mean, like,
it's crazy.
I guess maybe it's because he knows, like, as it stands now, God only knows if he can sign an executive order undoing that. But as it stands right now, he can't have another term. So he's just like, I don't have to worry about re-election. I'm just going to fuck as much up as I can.
Yeah.
And that very much seems to be his agenda. But it's been, I mean, I've really tried to check out as far as keeping tabs on everything that he's done. But it's been pretty wild. Mm-hmm. Pretty wild.
And was that light always blinking? Or is it blinking now?
I couldn't tell you. Again, that short-term memory, just not what it used to be.
Yeah, true. Well, I think that I think that some of the things that he's doing is insane. You hear about it and you're like, no. Because you'll see like a Facebook post where someone says like Trump did this, and you're like, no, he didn't. There's no way.
You fact check it, and
you look it up, and he did.
It's worse,
and he's doing it, and it's way worse than you thought it would be.
Yeah.
So within all these executive orders, because it's like 650 that he's signed already.
Yeah.
They just keep bringing him folders, and he keeps signing them, and his signature is the longest signature you've ever seen. With the biggest, most executive pen.
Yeah, he must have like just like a fat tip Sharpie that he's signing these things with, because it's like, how do you get your signature that wide? Like,
he's getting a splash. I think that he's using a fountain pen.
Or maybe like an ink quill, you know, like a feather.
He's quilled up.
Yeah.
He's got something in there. It's something fancy. And he's doing the scraping, like it's skipping across the paper, you know?
Yeah.
So he's signing all these orders, and a lot of them are just horrible, deplorable things. Horribly deplorable, spooky, scary, hilarious.
Yeah.
But some of them are good. There are a few within there that aren't that bad.
See, these must have flown right over my head.
See, they don't
probably crashed because there's no air traffic controllers anymore.
Could be, yeah. But they don't really get promoted like the bad ones do. They don't get publicized because the news is all about fear.
Yeah, fear mongering for sure.
So you could stay on there and watch the ads, so you could see what else you should be afraid of.
Yes.
You know, you got to get through the ads so you can figure out what else you should be worried about. And if you hear about all this nice, sweet stuff, then you're going to be like, oh, that's cool. Everything's good. I can relax. Turn off the TV, go spend some time with my family, go hang out outside, touch grass, they say.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, it's all the scary stuff. And one of the good ones that he passed is giving more resources to dogs that are companion dogs to inmates. So they have programs where inmates that are on good behavior and are on like the work release program and stuff, they have these shelter dogs that they take care of and they play with and they have time interacting with. And then when they leave, they get to take the dog with them and it's like their pet dog, right? And he just gave more resources to them. Collars, poop bags,
Okay.
nail clippers.
All right. I mean, based on what I've seen, it seems like he's eliminating resources for anything good. I mean, we're talking pediatric cancer no longer has funding. The Department of Education about to be just completely eradicated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's great, but it's almost like
Yeah,
you
no,
see
that is
merit,
horrible.
You see
And
merit.
this doesn't make up for it at all, but it is, at least it's something good within the bad, you know. Another thing that he did is school lunches. You know, school lunches?
Yes, yeah, more school.
Yeah. You know those little roll up prosciutto with like a mozzarella stick in the middle and it's like prosciutto on the outside and it comes pre-rolled? One of those in each lunch.
See, and I don't think that's true. And as a matter of fact, he's trying to eliminate the school lunch program to where even poor children, as it stands right now, at least in California, all kids can get school lunch. So, like, if I don't want to send my child with their own lunch, they're entitled to a free lunch.
Wait, I remember what it was.
But
So he wants to replace the school lunch with that prosciutto roll because it has the same amount of calories and protein as the school lunch does.
that seems oddly specific, and I'm going to have to fact check you on that.
But it's coming. It's
Okay.
yeah, that just like all the other things that he passes, you look it up, it's there.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah, I mean,
Another one, Bic lighters. You familiar with a Bic lighter?
oh, am I?
Now, people that use Bic lighters on a regular basis are familiar with this child-proof safety.
Yeah, it makes it a little trickier to light. So if my toddler comes and grabs it, he's not going to just immediately be able to light it and burn himself.
And then especially if you have like resin or any sort of like sticky residue or something on your fingers from, you know, like dabs or something like that, it'll stick onto this. You can't light your lighter. So this child-proof piece, gone.
So yeah,
Outta here.
Now it's really going to be on me to make sure my children don't have access to a lighter.
You shouldn't have lighters around your kids.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of this stuff is, that he's doing is, like, at least in theory, designed to make people more responsible for their own actions and less reliant on regulation. But I don't know.
He's also doing a Aura frame promotion. Are you familiar with Aura frames?
No, I'm not.
So it's like a picture frame that you would set up at your house. But instead of having a picture within it that's sandwiched within the glass, it's a digital screen, and the screen shows different pictures. You could set it from your phone what picture you want to have on it, or have it cycle through like a whole album.
Yeah.
And these are going to be going out. You just have to go to like this website and sign up. You get an Aura frame. Like, you remember Obama phones?
Yeah, sure. Obama.
Same thing. Anybody, any American or a legal immigrant can get Aura frame, one for each member of their household, get them sent right to them, or go pick them up at like a local vet's hall.
Did you hear that he's threatening to make it illegal to protest? They're going to lock up protesters.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's fucked.
It may have already started.
Damn, that's scary.
Scary, dude. It's wild.
Fuck.
Colleges that allow protests on their campus are gonna he's gonna take away any of their federal like funding or anything. Yeah, it's
Damn.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't even want to get it started on the real stuff. That's
Yeah. No. Because there is good stuff. Like, he's changing the Starbucks size system to small, medium, and large.
Oh, okay. That's yeah.
That's
I'm all
good.
for that.
That's
Yeah.
easy for everyone.
Everyone's wanted that for ages, and Starbucks has just been like, no.
Yeah. Also, there was one more thing that I had on the list here. Have you seen the movie The Strangers Chapter 1?
The Strangers chapter. No.
Yeah.
No, I've not.
So there's this movie, The Strangers, a horror movie,
Okay.
where strangers come into the house. They attack these people. They wear masks. It's like a whole thing. Now there's I imagine it's a prequel. The Strangers,
Do you get to see how they became so strange?
Chapter 1.
Now, are they strangers in the sense that they're strange? They're stranger than a typical strange person, or are they strange in the sense that you don't know this person? Like we've never met. Never met these.
The latter. So I think that's the whole thing, is that they're strangers and their targets are not picked. They're not connected to them at all. They just happen to stay at the house. They're strangers. These people come, they chop them up, they shoot them up, they kick them, they push them over, they do a whole thing. And they don't know them. It's not any sort of like emotional connection that they're killing them with. It's just to kill. And now The Strangers Chapter 1 came out, which I guess is a prequel. And The Strangers Chapter 2, if you go to the whitehouse.gov website, that's crazy. That's another real thing, is that they took down the Spanish version of the White House website. So it's just not available anymore. So no news or updates or anything. You can't read them in Spanish. Fuck. And that was like the first thing that he did. And then now with all the sweeping like deportations. So he was like, I don't want them to be able to read about it.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
But you go to the website and you can watch The Strangers Chapter 2 now, before it's out.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're a fan of that film franchise, that's something.
It's not great,
Yeah.
but it's not bad.
Yeah.
You know? So I just wanted to go over, there's a few good things that are happening that he's doing that Biden wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
You know, Biden never would have. What was that?
Biden didn't do anything.
Yeah, Biden didn't do much.
Just an incredibly lethargic president.
Mhm.
Especially in contrast to like how fast like Trump has come in and signed all these executive orders and pushed his agenda. It's kind of like wild that you know, to look back and be like, how is Biden so incredibly ineffective at doing anything?
Yeah, all the things
accomplishing
that he could have
anything?
done. He could have
came in
done so
saying-
much.
He came in saying, I'm going to cancel everyone's student loan debt. Didn't do that.
No.
Didn't do that. I mean,
No.
tried to for several years. Didn't do that. I mean, he did absolutely nothing. And his lack of accomplishing things that he promised, like, paved the way for Trump to come in and now do all these crazy things that, I mean, hopefully they're reversible at some point if we get the right people in there. But, I mean, it's just kind of... It's like, man, and then the Democrats wonder, well, what happened? It's like, I fucking hate politics.
Yeah. It's like, it's fucked up that nobody cared about politics. And I think that this is, hear me out, I think that this is all Obama's fault. Because nobody cared about politics. I mean, you had Reagan, which was like the old heads cared about Reagan, but nobody young cared about Reagan. And then there was like Clinton, and then George Bush, and George W.
These are all presidents.
So these presidents were like, they were whatever. They were politics, weren't into politics. Either you are or you aren't. A lot of people weren't. And then you got Obama. and Obama was cool.
Yeah.
And people started, oh, the president smokes. Oh, the president is fucking cool, and he does this and he does that. And a fish came on him. Remember when the fish came on him?
No, I don't remember. Like a fish jizzed on Obama?
Yeah. He they were spawning. They were traveling to an area to spawn or whatever. And he picked one up, and it squirted a bunch of eggs on him.
At least it's eggs.
And he was like, whoa. He was happy to see me. Or something like that.
Obama.
Mm-hmm. So he was just a cool president, and everybody started paying attention to the president and what he was doing and who he was. And people were like, I was like, Obama he's a cool representation of America.
Yeah,
strong, confident.
Obama certainly wasn't perfect, but in retrospect, like it's like, oh yeah, Obama was
give me
decent.
Obama.
And like it's kind of a catch-22 right now because Trump wants to push to end term limits so that he can be elected a third time. But if he manages to do that somehow, which fingers crossed he won't accomplish, that's also paving the way for Obama to come in and take back over. And it's like, do you want to be pitted against Obama? So Trump would really have to find a way to ensure himself that Obama can't run against him if he did get, the Constitution overturned, which I mean, again, fingers crossed. I've already been amazed by the amount of stuff that Trump was able to overturn so far. So I don't want to.
How many of those things are going to hold up? Because I know that like the Senate and the House of Representatives or whatever, like they have the power to overturn an executive order.
One thing I've heard is that he's doing so many things so that basically, like the Senate,
some of them will slip through.
The Senate and the Congress are already notoriously like gridlocked and don't accomplish much and do just very little as far as the things that they have on their plate. So Trump's trying to fill their plates, overload them so much that they don't have time to get to everything.
A majority of them will end up happening.
And then, I mean, a lot of times stuff's now going to the Supreme Court where Trump he's got, basically, I mean, the majority vote on the Supreme Court is because he's been able to appoint so many Supreme Court justices. I mean, it's So Obama was the first cool president, and then who do we have after Obama? I think the first cool president and my favorite president is a Mr. Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, not the first cool president. You know what I mean? But
oh yeah, I mean the last cool president.
We had the first trending president.
Yeah, I mean, I think people were pretty behind Obama. I don't think Obama ever had the kind of support that Trump does, which is a scary, cult-like support.
Yeah. So Obama had his 2 terms, and then who came after that? Trump?
Yeah.
Trump was right after Obama, and then Biden.
Yes.
And then back to Trump.
No, Trump again.
So I think that it was a mixture of Obama, and then when COVID happened, that started becoming because we did a lockdown for the first time in 100 years or whatever. They did a lockdown nationwide. Everybody get inside. Don't come out unless it's essential. And we had never dealt with that. So we were looking at our government to tell us what to do and what we can and can't do. So everybody started looking at politics and looking at the decisions that were being made. And now everybody got wrapped up into it. And now that COVID's done, people don't really care about politics as much anymore. But we're still caught up in the show. We're still following the seasons.
I feel like the average, as far as the political spectrum, the people in the center, which is where I hope and pray that most people are, we don't want a nation filled with extremists on one way or the other. I feel like those people care less about politics, but you've got these fringe groups, especially on the right, because I mean, obviously on the right, they have the majority because they won the popular vote and everything, but I feel I don't know. Like you and I, we don't care about politics that much, although but
we're extreme centrists.
True. Yeah. I feel like maybe we're not extreme enough. We're not being extreme enough.
Yeah.
because we're not making any headway with our agenda. It seems to just be like these extreme conservatives or extreme liberals, and they're whacked out ideas, and they're managing to push them forward because we're not being extreme enough with our centrism.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know how we push our extreme centrist agenda.
We got to start flying our flag again. I think
we do. We got to start flying the flag.
Yeah. Can we put the flag on the screen?
Yeah. And I mean, I don't ever condone violence, but like, I mean, when was the last time you went out into public and just like assaulted somebody to make your political beliefs known to them, as opposed to any other solution? I mean, have you recently gone out? So who's to say?
No.
You know, I'm not saying that's what we're gonna do, but I'm just saying that that's like recently unproven method that could like potentially
like a punch a Nazi movement type of thing.
Yeah, punch a Nazi, I mean, even if it's, you know, like a liberal, sometimes liberals need a good punch in the mouth too. It's both sides.
Yeah.
They're just going too. It's like you're going too far. We need to reel them in.
What if it's a kid?
You know what I mean? Like, we've given both sides of the political spectrum too much rope. Mm-hmm. And we need to start reeling them back in, almost like a dog that's you've given a leash to, and now he's over there doing something you don't want. We gotta reel it back in.
Yeah,
you know, it's like a fishing reel.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that we should probably start bringing up politics again and getting into our extreme centrism.
Yeah,
because I think that was a good arc. That was a powerful arc.
Powerful,
and people are super into politics now. So, are you ready to start this up?
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the St. Patrick's Day episode of the Natural Habitat. Ooh, we could say it this far in, right? Or are we cutting everything at the beginning?
Probably just want to start the show over again.
Start fresh?
Start from the top, man.
Yo, thank you for tuning in. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name's
Awesome Ty.
Satchmo's here, Smart Plug's here, Computer and Free Candy up in Canada. What's up, bud?
That's great, bud. We'll check
I'm
in with you
not
later.
quite sure how to help you.
Computer, shut the fuck up.
Fuck.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. It is St. Patrick's Day here in the States.
Top of the morning to you. Can I still do an Irish accent?
Yeah.
That's acceptable.
Yeah. Is St. Patrick's Day just in the States? Is that a U.S. holiday? I think it is. Is St. Patrick's Day only in the U.S.?
St. Patrick's Day in the United States is on Monday, March 17th, 2025.
Great. It's in the United States.
So that's coming up real soon. We're going to assume that, that's, I mean, I can't imagine Ireland actually. I mean, because that's their day-to-day life, right? Like, if anything, they want to escape that on St. Patrick's Day. So they're not wearing green. They probably lock all their leprechauns up. They're not kissing Blarney Stones. Nope. They're probably still drinking an excessive amount, but you know what? Like, that's to be expected in today's world. So
St. Patrick's Day this year, we have this whole like argument against St. Patrick's Day that I think is pretty strong, and I just don't know if I just don't know if it matters. Is St. Patrick's Day even something that people are like worried about?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. Like, I used to actually like actively go out and celebrate St. Patrick's
do the
Day.
whole bar crawl.
But it's like now, like, I do day drinking on a regular basis. It would almost be like more of a celebration if I abstained from going out and getting drunk in the middle of the day at this point. So it's like, maybe, you know, I don't know. The luster is gone.
Yeah, true.
I don't have that much green to wear. It's just, you know, it's become more of a burden really than a celebration for me, at least.
Mm-hmm. And my thing is, I love instant gratification and instant satisfaction, you know? Where I want to do something, I want to get the effect of it right away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want it to hit you.
And with bar hopping, there is, once you're in it and you're doing it and you're drunk, you're having fun. You're with your friends. You're having a good time. You're joking. You're laughing. You're smoking. You're drinking.
Hell yeah.
But when you're on the way there, and also that first like 30 minutes at the first bar is just so horrible that I don't want to go do that
And then after it's over, and that you know, like you're starting to come down from the thrill of being with your friends and, you know, having fun, and it's just like, oh, this is over, and it's Tuesday tomorrow, and like that could be the biggest downside of the whole thing.
Yeah, that hurts.
It's like, oh,
I remember. I think it was me and maybe you and maybe Matt, allegedly, and we went to the casino, to the Indian casino, and it was for one of our birthdays, and we were, or all of our birthdays, I guess. They're all pretty close. And we were drinking, we were maybe doing coke, we were eating mushrooms. Well, that's why you might not even been there. It was allegedly.
Yeah, I don't.
We were allegedly doing
I
any of
would
that.
have done.
There was a whole slew of drugs that were going on.
Okay.
And we went to the casino. We all brought a bunch of money. Got in trouble with security.
Yeah.
Had to throw away that shitty joint.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, and then
The ride home of shame.
the ride home of shame.
God,
it hurt.
Any casino trip, the ride home of shame. Anybody that's been to a casino and had a good time for a few hours, and then eventually that has to come to a stop. More often than not, you're down some money. You're forced to sober up.
We all lost all of our money.
You know, like you no longer have that thing to look forward to, and you have to drive 3 hours back to your hometown. Oh, the absolute worst.
Sun's coming up, and I was working like evening shifts back then at Fatty's, so I had to go in at 3. And it was like 9 a.m. We're driving back home. We're going to get home at 12. And then I'd have to go in 3 hours later. And just that ride back with no money. I got 6 cigarettes left.
This is like bumming me out. I've been through that.
It was the worst. That's why I don't go bar hopping.
I did have like one casino experience where I, right as we were leaving, it was the last time when we went to the Blink 182 show last year. On the way home, we stopped at the casino, and like I had basically lost every, you know, I was down to like my last gamble or whatever, and I hit on a slot machine, and we needed to get back so we can get our kids or whatever. So I wasn't able to lose that money back. So like I actually left the casino with a exciting amount of money.
Hell yeah.
And that was that was a huge outlier, because any other experience, whether it's been to Vegas or a local India casino, it's never a fun trip back.
No, they're all horrible. And I think I've had one where I came up a few $100s, and I was like, hell yeah. And then every time Matt goes, he's up like $3,000, and it pisses me off.
Yeah,
he doesn't deserve it. He barely fights fires.
Hardly.
Yeah. All right, we should go to the casino.
We should, or at least the poker room. We should go play in the poker tournament.
Did you hear about our local poker room?
Outlaws?
Yeah. Did you hear what happened?
No.
They got raided.
They got raided for what?
So, someone posted in one of the local groups, like, why are there a bunch of undercover cops at Outlaws? Bunch of cars and red and blue lights and officers and all this shit, right? And then it came out a couple days later on the local news page that Outlaws, as well as 2 private residences, were all raided due to employees selling drugs out of the place.
Oh, shit.
And it was like 2 people that worked there, like a guy and a girl, that might have been a couple, and then a third person. And they all got arrested, and all these charges for selling shit out at Outlaws.
That's wild. I mean, I guess the name might suggest that there's some illicit activity. You're literally calling yourself Outlaws.
Yeah.
And I've never quite understood how poker rooms are able to legally operate in a state that has the majority of gambling banned outside of
some sort of weird loophole.
It is very weird. I've never quite understood it. But it's, you're leaving yourself open to being raided by.
Yeah. But yeah, let's go do that. Let's go play poker.
Yeah.
We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
I don't drink soda.